Hey, beautiful ones. My intention with the Shamangelic Healing Podcast is to be a platform that explores real-life issues and provides you with valuable insights and practical tools to support you on your journey of healing core wounds and reclaiming your power and manifesting a thriving, impactful life that you absolutely love. You see, it's my dream to inspire millions to shine. So if you find these topics valuable, please take a moment and share the podcast and leave us a rave review. This helps the podcast grow and reach the people that would greatly benefit from these insights. Thank you so much for tuning in and investing in your personal development. I'm right here walking this journey with you. So let's dive into this episode. Hey, beautiful ones, just here to shine a light on the shadow as we are going through a radical awakening individually and collectively, where the darkest parts of our shadow are rising to be seen. And I know it's ugly and scary, and it's difficult to see it, to look at it, and yet we are here to evolve, we're here to grow. And so the shadow is coming to the forefront so that we can transmute it, so that we can shine a light on it, so that we can heal it, evolve it, grow it, understand it, hold a space for something better to grow out of the ashes of the fiery transformation that is wanting to be dissolved right now, of the darkest parts of us that are not sustainable as we grow in humanity, in our life personally. For us to thrive, then we're looking at what is in the way of that. And I know it's easy to want to just run, hide, sedate, ignore, distract, blame. And at this time, there's this eye of the needle that we're all being called to go through. And any of our baggage, any part of our lifestyle, our beliefs, our story, our actions, our words, and how we treat ourselves and others and the planet that is not sustainable is rising to be transmuted. And this is, I've never seen it like this before, honestly. And I've been doing this kind of work for 2 decades. And with this whole pandemic, it is putting us all through a vice. And it's amplifying everything. Our light, our positivity, and also our darkness and our shadow. Everything's being amplified and accelerated right now. More than ever, we're seeing at an all-time high suicides, we're seeing deaths, we're seeing diseases accelerated. As you know, we're seeing addictions and domestic violence, racial hatred. Like, all of this is rising. Sexual distortions, all of this is rising to be seen. Everything that is in the shadows are coming out, dancing in the daylight, in plain sight. And it takes incredible courage not to look away. And this is our opportunity to say, what is going on inside of me that my shadow is being activated at this time? And like, I'm going through it too, believe me. Looking at what isn't sustainable in my life, what is not sustainable in your life. And when we are not doing our inner work, that's when violence and addiction and sexual distortion and greed and desecration of the planet gets amplified. When we are doing our inner work and we feel more peaceful, we feel more whole, we feel more complete, we feel more enough, then we're not reaching out for material things or attention or validation. We're not stepping on the necks of others to get ahead. We're not comparing ourselves. We're not battling with each other. We're not fighting over material things or attention or love, because when we're doing our inner work, we're in harmony. We're at peace, and then we can work together and rise together. That's why this acceleration is happening right now. That is why this intensity, this amplification that we are all going through is happening for us and not to us, where and each of us is experiencing differently, depending on whether there's financial pressures or whether or not there's health pressures, whether or not there is like a career, a job, a relationship that is not in alignment. And we're seeing things rise because we're getting the opportunity to say, is this sustainable the way I'm treating myself? Is this sustainable the way my lifestyle with the planet, how I'm spending money? Is this sustainable with a career that I don't love? Is this sustainable where I'm working, working all the time, hustle and stressing it to the point where the body's breaking down? Is this sustainable being in a relationship that is codependent or conflict or oppressive or aggressive? This is not sustainable. And everything about our past, everything about our choices, our beliefs, our unconsciousness is rising out of the shadows to be seen. And I did an article on this called My Shadow is My Friend, because years ago I was doing these workshops on cultivating your inner light, and I had a magazine call me and say, hey, we heard about great things about your workshop. We would love to have you do an article for our magazine. I said, oh, great. And they said, this is the winter issue, our shadow. And I'm like, yeah, no, click. And then I called him back and I was like, okay, yes, I will write this article, because this is about the shadow. If we just focus on the light, what we're missing is the parts of the darkness that obscure the light. When we ignore the shadow, oppress the shadow, ignore the pain, the emotions, the ignorance, the anger, the rage, the unworthiness, when we ignore it, then it creates distortions. It becomes destructive. It becomes self-depleting. We hurt ourselves or others. And when we are doing that inner work and we move towards our shadow instead of ignore it and are afraid of it, when we actually say, oh, when my shadow shows up, it is giving me the invitation to look at something that wants attention, that wants healing, that wants to transform, to grow, to evolve, that wants to be held, nourished, fed, and transmuted into something better. And the shadow sometimes in our physical body might be a pain saying, hey, pushing so hard and that I'm creating, chronic fatigue in the body is not it. And that might be the shadow's way of saying, this way that I'm treating my body isn't sustainable. And instead of just taking a pill or pushing harder, the shadow work would be saying, what is my body trying to tell me? Why am I pushing so hard? What is out of balance with my lifestyle? So this is an opportunity for us to individually look at what is not serving, what is not working, where is there a pain, a wound, a distortion, a belief, a habit, a choice that is ongoing, that is not working for me anymore. It's having diminishing returns. Maybe it never worked, or maybe it's just having diminishing returns and it's served its life cycle. The shadow work doesn't have to be scary. It can just be where we take the time to lean in, get curious, and say, what is this trying to show me? This pain, this anger, this unworthiness, this not enoughness, this loneliness. What is it really about? This is the opportunity for all of us to go look at our core wounds, because we're going through the eye of the needle right now. We are going through the eye of the needle because radical awakening and transformation in the way we are treating ourselves, the way we are living, the way we are treating each other, and the way we are treating the planet. It's like time's up. We cannot be doing this anymore. It's not working. All of the signs are showing us that the way we're treating our bodies, the way we're treating each other, and the way we're treating the planet is not sustainable. It's not working. And we've been given the gift through this quarantine. We've been given this gift. I know it's hard to think that it's a gift, but we have been given the gift of space to look inward and the necessity to look inward and say, where is my joy? And what is blocking that? And this is doing the inner work. And I know that maybe doing the inner work may be like, I don't know how to do that. And it's okay if you don't know how to do that. And the process is pausing, first of all. The process is taking a step back from everyday life and creating and cultivating some quiet time, some introspective time that allows us some self-inquiry. What's going on with me? What am I feeling? And holding space for what rises, because sacred rage may be what is needed, that emotion that has been oppressed for so long, that is bottled up, and it is being expressed in other ways as we see addiction on the rise, depression on the rise. We see all of these things like social unrest and violence and suicide and disease accelerating. We see all of these things on the rise because as we go through the vice and the catalyst of the eye of the needle, things are being accelerated and amplified. They cannot be ignored any longer. And I'm going through it too. I just want you to know I'm right here with you. Things that aren't sustainable, I'm going through the vice also. And as I go through the eye of the needle, like I can't take all my baggage with me. And I can't take, not prioritizing self-care. Like that's not going to go at this next level. We're invited to evolve into a thriving life, not one where we're just surviving. And in order to do so, what do you have to let go? What do I have to let go of? And what is this whole process inviting you to see, heal, honor, evolve, transform, innovate, expand, birth? So the process looks like stillness, inner inquiry. It looks like holding space for the sacred rage, the grief that maybe hasn't had space held for it before, the sadness of recent losses or losses from way back that never were processed. And this is doing the shadow work. Why? What is going on with me? Where did I lose a part of myself in that childhood trauma? Where did I lose a part of myself in that relationship? And bringing those parts of us home, because when we're doing our inner work, we don't need to hurt others. We don't need to step on others. We feel whole and complete within ourselves. And from that, we can rise together and create together the new paradigm. When we are whole and complete within ourselves, we can love more deeply, whether that is intimately, or we can collaborate more cooperatively, creating the solutions that honor the sustainable, thriving solutions for everybody. This is an exciting time. I know it's uncomfortable. I know it's overwhelming, and yet I don't underestimate you. I believe that you are capable of looking within and reclaiming those parts of you that have gone missing and healing those parts of you that are wounded. And I believe that you, from that place of wholeness, have pieces of the puzzle that we need right now. Your beauty, your strength, your creativity, your gifts are needed right now. And when we are working together, supporting each other, to go through the eye of the needle, to do our inner work, you don't have to go through this alone. That's the beautiful thing is that in your shadow work, like looking at your density, there's people like me and many others like me that are here to walk you through that process if you need help. If you know how to do it, great. If you've forgotten how to do that and you need the tools, well then reach out to myself or someone else. The great news is we have more resources than ever to help us navigate through our shadow and through our darkness, to release the density and learn tools to reclaim our light and stand in our truth again. And this is the time to do the shadow work, and you don't have to do it alone, which is beautiful. Like I can't do it alone. Like I need support right now as well. And this is, part of the shadow might be that old story of, being too proud to ask for help or being afraid to be seen as vulnerable. And yet that is our superpower, is to be vulnerable right now. And, to have the courage to be authentic, that says, hey, I'm struggling. Or this tool that I'm using doesn't work any longer. Or the way I've done it is is causing me tremendous pain in my health, or like I don't know how to navigate in my relationships healthy, then ask for help. There are tools to help you transmute that shadow into light. And this is how we stop and evolve that collective shadow that we're seeing so much density and so much pain in the collective shadow of how we've been mistreating each other. And this is how we do it, by individually doing our work so that we can be a part of the solution, with humanity rising. And a solution together, as humanity works together, then humanity can then look at, what do we need to fix? How can we be more sustainable with the planet? How can we work together? How can we build better systems for a better tomorrow? And I don't underestimate you at all. I believe that you can let go of those things that aren't serving you and reach for what is. And I'm right here walking this journey with you. I know you can do it, and thanks for tuning in.